Good evening. Welcome again to another Unplugged Live. I'm Lionel Rodrigues. I'm just waiting for my colleagues to join. We will start shortly. And I think we have someone just arriving over here. Good evening, Sergio.
Good evening, Lionel.
How are
Good
you?
evening, everything's great.
Okay,
Relaxing day today.
that's what
Just to be a
matters.
little bit different. What about
So
you?
I'm just finished an amazing tour with the artisans, so pottery and basketry, and
I
the
hope
beautiful
you're
palace
gonna
of
tell us a little
Mafra.
bit more about it later.
Yeah, it's my signature tour with some artisans right here. Well, not too far from where I live, and it's a unique thing. I'm just waiting for Gabriel to join. He might have some connection issues, or might be Facebook just playing around with us. But we'll go over it, and I hope
As
that Gabriel will.
usual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's not easy, and we might have Gabriel. And hello,
Good.
Hello, everyone.
Good
here you are.
evening.
So
Good evening, guys.
evening.
Good evening. We've been having some issues lately with this Facebook.
Well, but it works, okay? For now, it's still
Well,
working.
we're all here, so we can begin. So it's not
Yeah.
like last week, which was completely crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Lionel Rodrigues from Desirable Portugal Tours. And with me, I have Sergio Costa from Portugal EV Tours, based near Porto, and Gabriel Lima from GL Tours, the guy with a great life in the Algarve.
Yeah,
So, for today, we're going to talk about some future events. This is the beginning of a high season in the tourism. We are getting a lot of requests and inquiries, and pretty much things are moving. So I was just commenting that today I finished a nice tour with the artisans that I visit. And it's a tour starting from Lisbon, heading to Mafra and surrounding areas, where we visit a very skilled potter and also a basket maker, so making with the baskets with the branches of the willow trees. Today we had a chance to see him doing the biggest basket he has done, and it was quite nice to bring my guests to see that. So it was a really nice experience to see that firsthand, and they were really impressed with all the skills and all the strength that is needed to do that. But for the subject of today about action, about stuff going on, I'm going to pass the ball to Gabriel, because it seems like the Algarve things are already moving. I've heard about some music festivals and animation starting pretty soon. So, what you have to tell us?
Yeah, exactly. Well, firstly, good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here, and let's keep this happy. Well, I mean, the season is starting. Of course, this year, Easter is a bit, I wouldn't say later, but I think it's a bit later than last year. So, and
Yeah.
usually the season in the Algarve, usually it starts by Easter. I can see already much more people around here in Albufeira, but also in other parts of the Algarve, Faro, everywhere. So, to be honest, this is the winter, maybe the low season that I've seen more and more people coming to visit us, which is great, because this is what actually, as a country and as a businessman too, and the economy, we need more people in winter. Well, I'm not going to say we need less people in summer, but yes, it's very crowded in summer, but in winter, by spring, that's when we need more people. So we are quite happy, and we've been seeing lots of people coming here. Well, one of the ripple effects of this is I see now more beaches with umbrellas and lifeguards. although it's not even close to 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 be like summer, because the weather, it's been rainy, it's been sunny. Today, for instance, we had the four seasons here. The four because I went for a walk. Today I didn't run any tour. I went for a walk. It was cold. Then it became warm, and then I got some showers, like 10 minutes or so. Then it was cold again, and finally it was warm again. So, I mean, this is April is a transition month, and also here in the Algarve, although naturally is a bit warmer and sunnier. After so many weeks of rain, we still have April with rain. The weather, it's been a bit mixed. We can't even predict the weather. But anyway, it's been amazing, and yeah, for sure now we start having some parties too. People, they are starting hanging out. When I say parties, of course, people, they always think about party. They always think about crazy stuff. Well, we are not talking about raves or techno parties. I love that. I would love to go to Germany for some techno festivals, but this is me. Okay, but no, we are talking about Portuguese festivals, like we're gonna have here now in Albufeira, for instance. This week, and we're gonna have 3 days by the beach. It's a free entrance concert. For instance, with some Portuguese singers. But for instance, Richie Campbell, the guy was born and raised in Jamaica, and the guy sings in English, and the guy is a pretty good performer. So maybe I think it's gonna be on Saturday. I already shared the program on in our group a few minutes ago. And yes, it's going to be amazing. And I'm aware that there's going to be more events happening throughout the Algarve. So the season is just starting. And this is also a good season to prepare everything. I mean, most people, they already prepared their vacation times because they are coming to visit Portugal. And of course, maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, they started preparing all these trips. But yes, the summer is coming, and it's coming very fast. So this is a good time for, don't waste time. Book your place, book your train, your bus, your hotel, your tour guide, whatever you need to do. Don't wait much time, because following the news coming from official sources, the tourism board, we are expecting a 10% increase in tourism. So something like, instead of 30 million people visiting Portugal, 33 million. And this is just the official numbers, because then we have lots of people who just drive to Portugal, and maybe many of these people, we don't even know they are coming. So it's going to be a great season. Okay, guys, before I pass through the ball to you, I want to share also something really nice. People, they've been, I noticed, right, on Facebook, people, they are always a bit upset with the rain, this and that, but Jesus, we are having maybe the most beautiful spring in years around the Algarve. So the creeks, the streams, the springs, they are booming with water. Just go to visit, Caldas Monchique, Halte, the waterfalls. I mean, there's so much to explore inland. So just forget a bit about the very popular seaside towns. I mean, they are great, but take your time. I've been seeing lots of people asking for quaint villages, the countryside restaurant, all of that. So this is the best season. It's not in July and August. July and August, the heat is unbearable. I mean, it's really hard. So if you are visiting us now in the next 2-3 months, just go for it. This is the season to. It's the most beautiful season. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Yeah, much needed. It's been a blast. This is the most beautiful spring in many years I've been seeing here. I'm quite happy, as you can imagine. And to be honest, I lost maybe 5-6 tours. I don't care, but I rather to lose some tours because people, they cancel due to the weather. But now I see lots of water everywhere. I don't know, I'm Aquarius, so I think I love water too. Actually, I love water. Okay, guys, so, well, for the Algarve, everyone can see already it's gonna boom. It's gonna start booming very, very fast. But I don't want people just to come to visit us here, okay? So because I know the whole 18 districts, including the islands, of course, they are amazing. you know, Douro Valley, the mountains, the Lisbon area, Évora, all these amazing places. So guys, what do you want to head? Sergio.
Oh, I think it's gonna be me.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds
Pick
good.
it up.
I was going to throw the ball to Lionel,
no,
but that's
I,
good.
you know, I mean, I like to play games. I like to
Yeah,
make it harder.
Sure.
But so I don't know. It could be you, Sergio.
No worries. So, good evening, everyone. Once again, over here from the north. Well, as it's usual during these transitional times between winter and summer, well, in Porto, it's not the Algarve, so we get a little bit more rain than we typically get sun. And we have this saying over here, em abril águas mil. So I like to loosely translate it into English. Well, Thomas is right. April showers. I say that in April it doesn't rain, it pours. And then in May, well, you guys say that in May flowers, April showers, May flowers. We say that em maio cerejas ao borralho. And this actually brings me to a very nice thing that's happening at the Douro Valley right now. Well, we're rather towards the end of it, which the Douro Valley, it's also famous. It's not just the wine, it's not just the olive oil, it's not just the almonds. We also have plenty of fantastic products over there, which particularly fruits. And right now we are at the end of the season for the cherry blossoms. So we have plenty of cherry trees over there. Very nice, very beautiful. There is even one location that is pretty much at the edge of the Douro Valley, I would consider it, which is very famous for its cherries, which is Resende. So a lot of people know about it. The Resende cherry is one of the most famous ones in Portugal, along with the Fundão one. But the Fundão, that's already another area that's between Serra da Estrela, the mountain range, and Spain. So it's a little bit more it's actually completely off the beaten path. Very rarely do I have requests for people that want to go to Serra da Estrela, let alone trying to reach Fundão. So not a lot of people know about Fundão, but it's actually a very beautiful location as well. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is now that we're starting to transition and we're starting to see a little bit more people getting to the country. Let's just not focus on what are the typical highlights of the country. And I'm not talking about locations right now. I'm actually talking about the different times that you're coming over here. I usually give this example to a lot of people. A lot of people coming to the Douro Valley, they like to come during the month of September because they want to see the harvest. Sure, that's the major point. That's definitely the highlight of the Douro Valley activity, but there are so many other things that you can see throughout the year. And if you approach your visit with this mindset of, well, I'm missing out on the harvest, then you're going to have the perspective of the glass half empty. And you should be having the perspective of the glass half full. For example, right now, cherry blossom, it's one of the most beautiful times of the year to see the valley. Before the cherries, we actually had the almond trees, which was in late February and March. Now we're getting out of the cherry blossom season and we're starting to get into the orange blossom season. So that is going to be, I could definitely tell you that it's the time of the year where the Douro Valley smells the most beautiful. Wherever you go, there's just orange blossom flower in the air, and that's absolutely beautiful. Um, I'm sorry for the people who have pollen allergies, but well, it's spring in full swing at the valley, and this is gonna start happening right now. So yeah, and we also say that even though we're entering the orange blossom season, well, I'm sorry, Gabriel. I know that you are very proud to have the orange of the Algarve down in the south. It's a designation that is protected by law over here, actually. And although it's not official, we also do have the designation. We're starting to try to implement it, the designation of Douro Valley Orange. And I'm starting to see some vineyards at the valley using that a little bit more proudly. And it's actually very common. No matter the vineyard that you go to, it's very common for the vineyards to have orange trees. Just the other day, I went on a tour with a couple. And the guide, she was actually a local, and she was actually very happy and very fond of having harvested an orange that morning precisely to serve it to the customers so they could have it along with their wine tasting. And it was not just the wine, obviously, it was not just the orange. We also had some other typical products of the area, cheese. We also had the sausages. We also have the olive oil. If the portions were a little bit bigger, that could almost be a meal in itself. I like to call that the breakfast of champions, particularly when we're doing the wine tasting in the morning. And Thomas, who's over here with us, he's not gonna let me lie about this. So yeah, these are some of the things that you can see at the Valley. Focus on the things that are happening at the moment, and this is one of the approaches. We've talked a little bit about this last week when we were discussing the restaurants, about sustainability and using local ingredients in the cuisine, and how the massification of tourism is impacting the little businesses and putting a lot of pressure, forcing some of the business to go to things that are not genuinely Portuguese and not necessarily authentic, I would say. In the case of the restaurants, we discussed a little bit about the utilization of processed ingredients in processed foods. In this case over here, I would urge you to just, for example, take advantage and enjoy what is happening at the moment. Go to visit the locations. Doesn't matter if it's peak touristy season, doesn't matter if you're going over there at a time when you're missing out on the top highlight of the area, but just be aware that there are plenty of other things that are happening while you're there, and those are definitely worth checking out. And experienced guides, they can definitely point you in that direction and steer you to be able to enjoy those things a little bit more. For example, I was talking about the cherries. Now we're going to have a sort of a hiatus right now between early April and up until mid to late May. And that's the season when the cherries, they are maturing. But towards the end of May, I actually like to do a quick stop at one of the vineyards and allow the customers to pick up a couple of cherries and just try them directly from the tree, and they absolutely love the experience. One thing that people have told me is that those 5 minutes are actually the highlight of the entire day with me. Just being able to stop on the side of the road, pick up some cherries directly from the tree is an experience that not a lot of people had. So we have this, and obviously I'm focusing over here at the Douro Valley. There's obviously quite a few other things to do in the north of the country. One of the things that immediately comes to mind for me are once we start getting into late May, early June, we're going to start having what we typically call the Festas Populares. And those are little, it's not Albufeira style party, sorry, Gabriel, but those are little neighborhood places that are starting to become more famous throughout the cities in which those neighborhoods are located, and even outside of the cities. Like, for example, one festivity that I like to attend to, which is typically in August, is the festivity of Nossa Senhora da Saúde, which happens at the Arca d'Água Garden in Porto, where do you have carnivals over there. You have the chorizo bread done in the oven, and I can tell you there's only locals over there going over there. And the line for the chorizo bread is huge. It's humongous. If you get there after 7:30, forget it. You're gonna wait for half an hour or more for the chorizo bread. We also have the farturas, the cotton candy is something that the kids like to enjoy while they're riding in the carnivals. So overall, it's a fantastic experience. And it's a great way, in my opinion, to immerse yourself in the local culture of a town. And it's super nice. The atmosphere is just the population of the town just living in the moment. It's absolutely beautiful. You have other ones that are quite a bit more famous. For example, I recall Nossa Senhora da Agonia in Viana do Castelo with the mordomas wearing the typical um, dresses and robes, and particularly the skirts, and also the gold that they wear in across their in their necks and on their chest. Some of that gold weighs in excess of 5 kilos, which is a lot. That gold, those pieces, particularly the heart of Vienna, which is filigree. it's been passed on from generation, so it's been for 100 years in the family. One of the largest ones in the north of the country, it's the festivity of the Senhor de Matosinhos. Huge carnival. I would say that the attendance over there every night numbers in the 10 to 20,000 persons every single night, because a lot of people like to go to that party. And then obviously we cannot forget about the largest one in the city, which is the San João. So that one, we have the huge fireworks display. This is always on the night of the 23rd to the 24th of June. And so it's a great way to see one of the largest traditions in the city, with the lanterns that we just launch up in the sky, the fireworks. I think the fireworks are at Avenida dos Aliados. I don't think that this one is on the bridge. The one on the bridge, I think it's the New Year's Eve fireworks. But nevertheless, it's very beautiful, and there are some instances where even from my house, I live in Maya. I don't live in downtown Porto. I live just 6 miles away from downtown Porto. But even over here, I can actually see tons of little neighborhood fireworks happening throughout the night, and it's very beautiful. So yeah, these are some of the things that you're going to be able to see. We could talk a little bit more about the popular things, but this is Portugal Unplugged after all. So we're talking about the things that usually are a little bit neglected, that are, and over here, these are for me the ones that are truly more authentic. Quick side note, medieval festivals, don't forget about those. There is the one in Óbidos, very popular, but the one over here in the north, which typically happens around June, which is the one from Santa Maria da Feira, is also very beautiful. And I would even go as far as to say, I would dare say, that it's actually even more authentic as far as a medieval festival goes than the one from Óbidos. So that is the larger one. We have another one nearby over here in the area, which is just 10 minutes away from me, which is at Lessa do Balio. This is also in Maya. They recently, when I say recently, this was something like maybe 6 to 10 years ago, that they started investing a little bit more into the medieval festival of Lessa do Balio, and now they actually had to increase the size of the precinct to be able to host all of the attractions, all of the things that are happening over there. So it's very beautiful, and again, it's also a staple for gastronomy. You have the pigs that are roasted on the fire. You also have crepes that we sometimes do over here. We also have the wine and the beer that is poured on little mugs, clay mugs. In fact, I think I have one just behind me. See, this is what I'm talking about. These are the things, and then, well, a little beer over here, and then we go. So
Okay.
this is pretty much it. These are some of the things that you can actually enjoy over here. But I feel like I've been hogging the microphone for quite a while, so I'm gonna throw the ball to you now, Lionel. Cheers.
Okay.
Or Saúde.
Saúde. So
Saúde.
once again, good evening to everybody. And yeah, you pointed out a few interesting things, but I'm going to some stuff that is now happening in the very near future. Well, talking about some more celebrations nationwide. We're going to have April 25th and May the 1st, where it's expected to see some parades. So April 25th, it's next week, and it's our Liberty Day, our Freedom Day. So it's a very important holiday, and a little bit everywhere it's celebrated. If you go inland, like I was, a year or two ago, I found a lot of local celebrations with, well, musical groups and some parade displays as well. And then, of course, every little town organizes something like a soccer tournament, like some sports events, like athletic races, all that kind of stuff. So everything is worth to bring people out to the streets to celebrate that important day. And then, of course, well, the May the 1st, that is more, it's used for other things, but being the Workers' Day, it also brings a lot of people on the streets. And related with that, very often, okay, there are some celebrations and sports events associated with that as well. So in Lisbon, and if you're staying in Lisbon, expect the Liberty Avenue and surrounding areas to be quite busy on these days, but you will see what is the local culture, what the local people are doing. And of course, it's really to immerse in what we've been having in here for years. But I'm going to something a little bit off the chart, and I just posted a video yesterday about it. Last Saturday, or well, this weekend was the Open Windmills Day throughout Portugal. And being on the West Coast, the traditional windmills are really something that deserve to be seen and deserve to be visited. And I've been kind of insisting a bit or promoting a bit the traditional windmills because a lot of people are missing out. And it's a very unique thing. And it's funny to see that I was invited just for some friends in a place that has several unique windmills, and that I know quite well. But I was invited for some friends for dinner, and after a very long day, we went for dinner. And then there was like a night walk along the windmills area, so around 5 kilometers. And we had hundreds of people doing that. Then you had all of the little food stands and handcraft stands over there. So this was already a festivity just to celebrate the traditional windmills. So this is happening normally on the weekends near the April 7th, April 8th, and that is the National Windmills Day. And we start to have those kind of things, and I was really surprised with that. Yes, Peter, exactly on that town. So I was right next to the video I posted on the Unplugged. It's a windmill that you know quite well, and I know quite well as well. And so this is something quite unique. Okay, so sometimes even for us locals that we are invited for some event, we get there and the event end up being much bigger. It ends up being something quite well organized, and really to celebrate this kind of stuff. So my advice is always to start check every time you travel around. Some of the posters, some of the information that might be on the walls here and there, or when you stop in a small town in the cafes, there are always some posters here and there with names of towns and with a lot of stuff going on the next weeks or on the next months, because this is the best way for people to connect with the local celebrations. And you, Sergio, you mentioned the popular saints and some of the festivities. So every little town ends up having like their patron saint festivity. And I would say that in May, early June, there's plenty of them happening. And you go for normally like a weekend or at least a weekend with some concerts, with some folk groups or some folk bands just playing, some sport events, and always great food, because it's very common for them to have like a big bar facility with some barbecues outside with a lot of stuff happening. And it's the best way to enjoy the local food and the local culture. So a little bit around the country, from this time of the year onwards, we start to have all these sort of festivities. And the best way to know it, I know that a lot of people, would like to have this centralized in some social media page. I tried that some time ago, but it's not easy to make it work. But pretty much it's common to drive around, see some flags, some posters hanging from the lampposts, or enter a local cafe, and I'm pretty sure that you will find a few of these signs, a few of these posters everywhere. So advertising what is going to happen here and there. Then, picking up on the subject of the popular saints, we cannot forget that Lisbon has a huge event on the evening of June the 12th, so just before St. Anthony Day, where once again the Liberty Avenue gets closed for the parade, with all the dance groups from the different neighborhoods of the city competing against themselves. So the popular marches, okay, marchas populares, in the evening of June 12th, it's pretty much a big event to attend in Lisbon. Thousands of people go there to check on that. But the evenings before, normally like 2-3 weeks before, you start to get some parties in some of the Lisbon's neighborhoods. So in fact, one of the best recommendations I can give for people that are still searching for accommodation in Lisbon on the first 2 weeks of June, it's to really check where the accommodation is, because you might want to be right in the middle of party, or you might want to be in a quieter area. So if that second option, it's what you really want to. So downtown and the popular neighborhoods like Alfama, Bic, and so on are not the best pick because it will be quite loud during the nights over there. But there are a lot more things going on. So my best advice is really every time you land in in the city, in a place, in a new spot, try to check where the locals hang around. Little cafes, some or something that is very common in the smaller towns that it's normally known as coletividade, that is pretty much some local sports association, some local cultural association. They know where the good stuff is. They know where all the celebrations are happening. They might have those posters just showing about those events. So go there and check what is happening around you, and it's all about just exploring a little bit, and you might find some really interesting things to do during your vacation around here. A part of that, plan always some extra time for your vacation because I'm pretty sure that sometimes you just go around the corner and you find something that you're gonna enjoy a lot, or it smells quite good from that door or from that window. So you might also try to find out where that good scent is coming from. And who knows if you're not gonna find some little gem, some great restaurant that was totally out of the radar, but you end up having an amazing experience. But we could keep going on this subject. There are a lot more things to check on your next travel to Portugal. But time just flies, and we're pretty much reaching our 30 minutes for the Unplugged Live. I'm going to go back to Gabriel just to check if you want to add something
Yeah.
else. Then we'll go back to Sergio as well. And
Yeah.
just left my 2 cents over here. So go ahead.
Yeah, okay, just 1 minute, just to add something else because I've been hearing you and then I remember other stuff. Well, it's a very good idea to when people are visiting some spots to try to get to know about local events, because sometimes these big events they come on the news. Everybody knows about San Juan, Sant Antonio, but a bit everywhere there are these small local events. I don't know, sweet potato festival. Whatever, it's really happening almost every single weekend. For instance, here in the Algarve, if people they search for the Algarve calendar events, they will find 3 or 4 websites where they post the agenda for the upcoming week. This happens. For instance, now I remember the Algarve Primeiro, so Algarve First. It's kind of a local regional journal, and they always share this calendar, and this is amazing. Now I just remember the Pines Festival in Stoi. It's a very old one. It's very popular too. Stoi, close to Faro. I forgot to mention when I started my part that this week it's a religious week. And also in the Algarve, we have ancient towns here, and it's very religious too. So, for instance, in Faro, we're gonna have one of the biggest processions that happens in the Algarve, which is a celebration of the resurrection of Christ. So it's a big event that is going to happen in Faro, very popular. Lots of people they go there, and also in Sambrais. So just 20 minutes north of Faro, we're gonna have also the Feast of Alleluia, or the Flowering Torch. So we also have these religious events here. So guys, just come to visit Portugal. There's lots of things happening beyond the beach and the beautiful monuments we have. And of course, the Portuguese people, they are always with their arms open to receive you with a warm heart too. Guys, okay, so for my end, it's everything now, and I think, Sergi, you want to finish with something else too, right?
Just this. So
Saúde da boa. Saúde da boa.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I want to say goodbye tonight.
Yeah.
So
Well,
too bad it's empty.
thank you very much. Thank you very much to the two of you for joining again for another Unplugged Live. Thank you very much for everybody who's been watching. Vitor is just mentioning São Pedro. So yes, we spoke about Sant Antonio, São João, and of course São Pedro. So there are some very popular, celebrations of São Pedro. One of them, it's a very big well, trade fair and a traditional fair with a lot of animation and sports and stuff going on, not far from where I live, Torres Vedras. Okay, so Feira de São Pedro, it lasts for over a week. So it's one of the biggest.
Is over here.
Yeah,
São Pedro da Furada.
exactly. So one of the biggest exhibits in Portugal of well, all sorts of things, businesses and a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, we have a lot of celebrations going on. So really, well, just plan your time in Portugal. Check what's going on. We are here to help for any questions. And pretty much, well, I just want to leave well the best wishes for a great week. I'm having a great week ahead as well. So well, we'll be busy on the road. And well, anything you need, just feel free to reach out. Feel free to ask your questions here at the group. And like always, I'm going to post this on our YouTube channel in a few minutes. Will be available for everybody to watch. So thank you for watching. Good evening, everybody. See you next week.
Bye bye, guys.
See you next
Thank you.
week.
Bye.
Bye.